We are very happy to have with us at our studios Miss Jocelyn Fernandez, Head of Department of St. Xavier's College, Mapusa. She is the Head of Department of Biotechnology. Let's straight come to the point of you are the Head of Biotechnology.
Yes.
Many people don't understand, neither do I for that matter, very well. I know a bit of it, but what is biotechnology?
Okay, so biotechnology from the word itself, it's a combination of biology and technology.
Right.
So you use the concepts of biology and apply the technology developed, and you have tools that help make different areas of life better. Like you can apply it to industries wherein you have food, textile, then agriculture, medicine. To all, it's more of a research-oriented field.
So tell me then, since it is a research-oriented field, as you put it, a student who is in the 12th standard science, I suppose it's only for science students.
Yes, it is.
Is it science, maths, and physics, or is it PCM or PCB?
It could be either PCM or PCB. We are open to both because we also have a component of technology that is involved. So if you don't have a background of biology, you could opt for it.
Okay. So how do you determine when the student comes to you that I want to do biotechnology? How do you determine that he or she is good for that particular field?
Yeah. So when at the time of admissions, we normally talk to the student and see what the interest lies in. Also because we have an intake of just 30 students, so it's more on a first come, first serve basis.
First serve, not on the basis of percentages?
No, because we have the other courses that are there.
Okay.
And then they take admissions like a provisional admission, and they opt for medicine if they get through. So our admissions are much before any of those rounds are done from that point of view.
However, having said that, you don't have a minimum at all? Even a 35%er can get inside?
Like we try to keep it till a first class.
Okay, first
Yeah,
class. So
at least
60%.
first class, yeah.
Okay. So there is a percentage.
There is, but it's not
probably,
like a strict rule.
yeah, that's right. Okay. Now, you said PCM, physics, chemistry, maths, or physics, chemistry, biology. Both are accepted.
Yes.
60%.
Yes.
Now, having got inside the program, 30 students, what do they do in the very first year?
Okay, in the first year, since it's a new system that has started from this year, they have papers of general microbiology and biochemistry and metabolism. You also study plant physiology and diversity, and you have a component of chemistry as well.
Is that tough?
No, because I believe if you've cleared your 12th science and you've put in so much of effort, college level is just taking it
next step. Okay. So the following year and the final year, how tough is it?
The papers are such that they are varied in all, because it's a combination of subjects. You study physics, you study maths, so it more lies on your ability to handle a particular subject.
No, but if somebody has taken PCB,
right,
physics, chemistry, biology, and you just said math,
yeah,
how is he going to cope, or she's going to cope with math?
There was one paper in the old course, and now, but it's essential maths that's required for biologists. So you don't do the depths of maths. It's basics that you would apply to your biology experiments.
Right. So tell me, you mentioned research. What are the various types of research subjects St. Xavier's College does to enable the student to go further?
Right. So at the third year level, we have projects. So that mostly varies with the student's interest. Like we normally ask the student to do their own kind of research and come up with ideas that they would like to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So having said that, so we've done research on bioplastics, like to obtain bioplastics, then to degrade your waste of shells that just accumulate in the environment and pose a threat. Then we've also done extraction and production of different enzymes that have industrial applications.
Now you said plastics. Can you just elaborate a little bit further what that is all about?
Okay, so basically it's called bioplastics because it's basically a polymer that is produced by your microorganisms. So when under stress, the particular organisms can produce that polymer. So if you allow that organism to produce it in bulk amounts and you extract it, you could make a film of it that is used as a bioplastic because it is degradable in the environment, so it does not accumulate.
So the key is degradable.
Degradable.
All right. Okay. Now I read somewhere about this product in Hyderabad called Jatropa.
Yeah.
Now I believe that if our Indian scientists have already done some work on it and have succeeded, do you think there is scope for more research in that area because it will help save a lot of foreign exchange?
Yes, there is. They are also trying to get, as you call, Jatropa leading to biofuels. So not only with plants but also animal waste like chicken fat. You could extract biodiesel and use that. The problem with Jatropa, I think, is the land that is required to grow it. So we come up to that. So in other alternatives to that could be used.
That's very interesting. You mentioned about chicken waste.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that for the benefit of our viewers? Because this is something quite new. I didn't even hear of chicken waste being used as a biofuel.
Yeah, it's still at the research level where we had some of our students work on it, where they tried to use the waste of chicken because it's fat, and then that would convert it ultimately and be used as fuel, like we say, fat as fuel. So in all the processes that you could.
Yeah, like for example, in I believe in Brazil or somewhere they use sugarcane, and in America they use maize and those kind of things. What do they use in India? Any particular thing to convert something into fuel? Anything that is done in India on a major scale or something like that? Nothing like that.
No,
it is still in the preparatory stages. I see. Okay. Now, let's go a little bit back, a few steps back. In terms of the student has taken admission now, got admission, what are the fees he has to pay?
Okay, so it comes to about 58,000 per year. So, yeah.
This is a self-finance.
It's a self-finance course, so it's.
And okay, so it is 57 approximately per year. That means about $1 lakh and a bit for the $1.5 lakh or something for the 3-year program. What do you normally recommend to a person who has done well in the final year? What do you recommend he or she to do in terms of further studies or take up a job?
Further studies is always a recommendation because it opens up more doors for you. Then when you do a bachelor's, with today's competitive world, you have to be one step ahead always. And with a master's, you can always, it's like you could also join back teaching, and you could further do your research because it's a research oriented. If you stop at a bachelor's, then it doesn't really proceed to that level.
Okay, let's hear something about a person who does not or cannot afford to go to the master's level. What is the kind of job would he get?
Okay, there are your QA, quality assurance, quality control opportunities in pharmaceuticals, in food industries, and also if you start up your own entrepreneurship, like maybe a plant tissue culture lab, or even just a simple, like you have the fruit thing happening, or you have mushroom cultivation. So all of these opportunities that are there, also as project assistants in different institutes.
Now you mentioned doing research in certain areas that you talked about, like quality control. Now, isn't that a pharmacy kind of a job?
No, I'm talking in terms of the medicinal way. You always have a like when say when a new product is developed, say an insulin or a new medicine is developed that is going to an antibiotic maybe.
Right. Okay.
So you need to do all those checks. You need someone with that background.
So that's the kind of a little bit of research that might go into that. Okay. So at BSc level, not too much scope.
Yeah.
What about at MSc level?
Yeah, at MSc level we have, as I said, project assistants in NIO, at CS, ICAR, at NCOAR. You could go to do your clinical research. There's a lot of scope in clinical research now.
Let's look at the tools. At BSc level, what is the kind of salary level at entry point? And at MSc level, what is the salary at entry point? And after that, what is the salary after 5 years this side and 5 years that side?
Okay. Basic BSc would be a basic say 12 to 15.
That's it.
Yeah, that's because it's just a graduate course, like, and then when you complete your masters, you start somewhere around 25.
And goes up to
It goes
after
up
5
to-
years to 50, 75?
No, I wouldn't say. Science is very
Wouldn't say that.
underpaid in India.
Is it?
It
So what
is.
do you recommend? You recommend them to go abroad?
Yeah.
That's a brain drain.
If you
Professor, that's a brain drain.
No, because the opportunities and the pay scale is higher. If you are, because it's a research oriented field, you have so many people who do their studies and then go out for their.
But you know, I have read somewhere that nowadays pharmaceutical companies contract out research. Okay, they have what is known as researchers to do their various
Yeah.
medicines and whatnot. Isn't that a better paying version of MSc and BSc?
It is, but then you have a lot of what do I say? Like you need a lot of exams to be cleared and all of that. It's not that you finish your masters and you are into it. They have a lot of selection procedures,
Selection procedure, but
Yes.
not further.
not studies.
Not studies.
Yeah,
Okay.
but then again, you have a lot of exams
Ah.
which you.
Is there a lot of scope for teaching in biotechnology?
Yeah, because we have. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Next.
Okay, never mind. So, all in all, to conclude this little meeting we have had, all in all, is it something that a research student would really like to do, and only if he has or she has the motivation to continue at the master's level? Otherwise, it may not be worthwhile. Would that be a correct statement to make?
Yeah, because it's more of a research field, and
That's right.
having your BSc knowledge is not really going to push you to that level. But
So, students and parents watching this program, I would certainly ask you to think very carefully if your daughter or son are saying that I want to do, Mama, I want to do biotechnology. Biotechnology at BSc level is just not good enough. You have to go to master's level and perhaps even to that PhD level. So if you are research minded, obviously research minded means masters straight away. So think about it very carefully, because if you are not inclined to go for masters, this is not your area, and therefore don't get dispirited when you reach BSc level. I can't find a job, Mama. This is bad. So it is not bad because you didn't think of it earlier. Think about it very carefully. You can also go to St. Xavier's College and talk to Professor Jocelyn Fernandez, and she'll be able to help you, and then make a decision. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Kind of you.
We're here with Avril Jakes from St. Xavier's College in the stream of biotechnology. Hi, Avril.
Hi.
You already look very smart.
Thank you.
So, biotechnology is a field that we don't know much about or don't know in depth about. What is biotechnology?
Okay, so basically biotechnology mainly revolves around research in various subjects. The basic subjects would include genetics, plant tissue culture, animal culture, food technology, industrial. It basically revolves around research into various fields of life itself, because food is one of the basic needs of everybody. So food technology on how to preserve the food for a longer time, all stuff like that. So that's like basically research.
All right, so lots of research. And does it come in stages over the 3 years, or how does this biotechnology graduation program present itself to students? I mean, what do you learn and what's the process?
Okay, yeah, it comes in stages. So you start being introduced into the field really slowly. Like first they'll introduce you to various microbiology and the techniques that are involved in using these techniques later in the higher fields rather. So you start with microbiology and physics and maths and stuff like that to get in, because it's biotechnology, so it's biology and technology as well. So, and as you move further into botany and entrepreneurship, and finally into third year, you're using all these techniques that you've developed on the way in your project, as well as subjects like genetics, plant tissue culture, industrial biotechnology. So you're building up techniques on the way to finally reach your climax.
Wow. So that's a lot of researching and evolving over the process
Yes.
of 3 years. When you start off, I think you got to be, a plus 12. You've
Yes.
done your 12th standard. Does it have to be in science?
Yes, it has to be. It's a
Compulsorily in
compulsion.
And what percentage are we looking at to get into this stream?
We're looking at maybe a 70 and higher probably, because as I will say now, that it's not really difficult to get in. It's the coping up with the field that's difficult. So you can get in with a low percentage, but you have to be able to continue in that, because after you're done with your graduation, if you don't have the ability to continue that subject and be able to rather apply it, you're not going to be able to get a job in it.
Correct.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Okay, so there needs to be a certain form of liking towards, biotechnology at its base to kind of continue it. After graduation, does Xaviers offer masters?
No, not in biotech.
So what do you plan to do after you graduate?
I plan on doing my master's.
Where?
I'm looking at an abroad option right now, because I would rather specialize in a subject than do a general master's. I'm looking at an industrial point of view here. Biotech has a certain entrepreneurial side, as you can say, so I'm looking more on that side. But if you're looking for something related to the industries that have already been evolved and getting a job there, then you can do a general master's, but I would rather do a specific or a specialized master's degree. So
All right. And if someone wants to get a job immediately after doing their graduation, looking for a steady career option, what would the career options be here in Goa?
here in Goa would be a pharmaceutical, but they also generally accept a master's degree and above. And teaching is another line that you could go in, because of course every line has an academic point of view and an industrial point of view. So in the industries, it's mainly pharmaceuticals and research, and in the academics is teaching within your either your institute, but it's based on your degree. So
Correct.
as you go higher, you'll get a higher post in the profession itself.
Correct. So there's an academic view, there's a career point of view. After you master a certain subject or stream when you're doing your graduation, are there specializations in India that you can opt for? If someone wants to go ahead and specialize, are there specializations in India or institutes in India where you can specialize in biotechnology?
Yes, in biotechnology itself, like Goa University has their masters in biotechnology.
Oh, perfect.
And they have one of a specialization subject as well, that's biochemistry. So Goa has these two as of now, but then they have the other subjects like microbiology and marine sciences. So India does have, but India's like right now it's more on the general aspect of biotechnology.
All right, so we're still growing, and
Yeah.
the good thing is that the university has options to go forward with. For a student who's in the 10th standard, or let's say, just in the 11th standard, and planning a career or a studious academics with biotechnology, what would you suggest to them, or what would you say to them? What books would you recommend, or how can they get more keen in the field of biotechnology?
I would suggest reading in biotechnology. First, you'll have to read about the subject, because if you want to pursue a certain line of study, you'll have to read about it and get more information about it. Once you've got that information, if you plan on continuing in that, I suggest you narrow down your research options. Like if you have a certain field of science which you would like to continue your research in, start small and continue gaining information on that particular subject, because when you finally graduate, you'll have a certain area in mind which you want to specialize in. Like if you're specializing in food technology, you would have to continue reading about various organisms and food and basically production and processes and the whole production line. So if you're going to start small, you'll have to learn about various stages the food goes through and all related to the processing and the production of the food, and finally you can specialize in it and get a job within like the Food and Drug Administration, or you can go into something related to entrepreneurship.
So that's, a very diverse field that's still growing, and I think has a lot of scope. Where do you see biotechnology in the next 5 to 10 years in Goa, especially with the course or with the studies or with its, evolving?
Okay, so as of now, biotechnology is not very, it's in its developing stages. So in the next 5 years, I would say that Goa is developing in biotechnology, where biotechnology is concerned. An example would be the company Cipla. Actually, they have a whole new division called the Biotech, actually, which is a part of the company, and only biotechnologists are employed there for research and quality control, quality assurance. So there's this whole new department. It was called MapFarm earlier. Now it's called Biotech. So companies are actually evolving and having their own new segments for biotechnologists itself. So in Goa, if the companies are evolving, so is the studying. There are various colleges in Goa itself that have biotechnology to offer. So
Yes,
yeah.
so it's on
its way up.
all right, on its way up. Considering you're a part of St. Xavier's College, and when a student gets out of the 12th standard and wants to get into the college life, there's a huge part that plays and weighs in about the ambience of the college and the people you're going to meet and what will college life be like. How is St. Xavier's as an academic as well as a co-curricular, front?
Xaviers is quite balanced that way. It has academics and it has a lot of events. If you must have heard actually a lot of Xavierites going to various places for competitions and stuff like that. And it's not the same people going. So everybody actually gets a chance to go for various events, and there are organized events by the college itself. So we continuously have events and educational events like seminars happening within the college of various fields. So Xaviers is on a balance right now with academics and seminars and events and extracurricular activities. So it's like an all-round development. So the ambience in Xaviers is basically always fun, and it's just a nice environment to be in.
So we were all right about the Xavier's environment. The other being the faculty members play a very, very important role in academics that are demanding, like research or biotechnology or something to do with physics and science, where you need to really be in sync. How is the faculty for biotechnology in Xavier's?
The faculty of biotechnology is very understanding, and it's very equipped actually in the way they deliver their lectures to us, because they have their information set in their minds, I would say, and they don't specifically need to read out to us whatever they are teaching us. They have developed over certain time and experience, and they have the ability of giving us the lectures and practicals in such a way wherein we absorb the information really well. So I would say that that's through experience.
All right, great. So great faculty, a great campus, a great college, and a great course. I think it's recipe for success. So what made you, after your 12th standard, choose biotechnology as a course, or this specific course?
Okay, so originally this wasn't my plan. I'll agree to that, because I wanted to get into medicine. So I was kind of heartbroken, like medicine, I've not gotten into it. So I decided to research on various subjects, and I like reading. I love reading. I can go through books a lot. So I decided to read on various subjects. So I had two options, pharmacy and biotechnology. Now biotechnology offers that certain research aspect wherein you have to read a lot of research papers and get through certain techniques. So it's all about reading and learning and applying. So that was like really intriguing, because you get to basically get jobs in the research and development sectors, which is all about just experimenting with certain things, and that's a lot of fun because you don't really know what the outcome is. So you're just going through experiments and certain things and finding out a really nice outcome in the end. So that was really intriguing.
And that is what got you towards biotechnology
Yes.
as a course. Great. Well, we wish you the very, very best, and we hope that this goes many places for you. And thank you so much for sharing all the information with us. Thank you.
Thank you.